It is finally time for the training episodes.
Be sure to subscribe and follow me on these social media platforms.
Also, shout outs to the people who watched my fat self talking to buff self video. That video took 3 years to make and I'm glad I finally uploaded it. Yo dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighborhood JaxBlade here. And today is another episode of Would That Work Out, where I use my knowledge of personal training and love of fitness science to analyze whether a fictional character's routine would actually work in real life or completely just F you up. And like I said in the last video, I'm moving everything to the new house, so this is just empty room. But today's Would That Work Out, I'm covering the main reason I even work out today. Son Goku from Dragon Ball Z, and my man Vegeta as well. Now, as many of you who've been with me since the beginning already know, this man right here is pretty much the main reason I work out. Like, he was the reason I decided to go from a chubby anime fanboy getting made fun of and beaten up every single day because I love nerdy stuff and I wear these shirts with these buff characters on them. And they would say, oh my god, you would never be like them. And they like, oh, they can fight, you can fight. And they slap me around and make me feel like just a punk bitch. And make me feel so helpless and insignificant. I would come home and I would see a character like Goku who was so strong, so badass, but so kind and so humble and treat everyone who's strong with respect. But if you mess with his friends or family, it was your ass, alright? That completely just touched my heart and it made me want to go, if I could train and become a strong, nice guy like him, that's why I started training so much. Like, he will always be my favorite character no matter what. Shit, I remember this one day, I came home freaking crying. I was like covered in bruises from like the beating I just got, and I felt like such shit. And I just came home and just lied down and watched Toonami, and it was an episode where Goku was fighting Frieza, and Goku said this fucking line.
I don't understand why you call Saiyans by such mindless names. The only thing it does is reveal your own fear and ignorance. I guess name-calling is your only attack, because you're too weak to challenge me any other way.
That line just lit a fire in me and made me just want to train to be the best I could be and go from being weak to being a stronger individual. And I have to say, like, that to me is why Dragon Ball Z will always be the god of motivation, like, because it touched my heart. Like, it was there when I needed it, and it'll always be just the god of training motivation no matter what. Goku will always be my training idol no matter what. They'll have to specify Superman dub Goku because, like, they changed him around in the dub to make him more likable, apparently.
Ally to good! Nightmare to you!
I don't care if you're accurate to the manga or not, you'll always be my hero, Superman dub Goku. Now I have to let y'all know that I have done a Would Dragon Ball's fitness training workout where I covered the turtle hermit training Goku and Krillin did when they were training under Master Roshi. So be sure to check that out. Also, I mentioned in that video, because science already did a video on the gravity training aspect of Goku and Vegeta's training from a scientific point of view for all those who are interested. Personally, I still think training under that high gravity will completely fuck up your internal organs, but it's still a great informative watch. Now, when you get down to it, Goku and Vegeta's training itself, excluding the high gravity, is actually kinda simple.
I do a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, and I drink plenty of juice.
I honest to God took that to heart as a kid. As a matter of fact, I've been obsessively studying Dragon Ball Z's training for the last 13 years of my life since middle school. And if it wasn't for this damn torn rotator cuff I got back in 2013, then I probably would have been able to reach my goals faster, but I'm getting there steadily. When you get down to it, all Saiyan training really consists of is push-ups, handstand push-ups, sit-ups, key attacks, shadow boxing, sparring, dodge practice, some heavy-ass weightlifting, meditating, well, if you're Goku at least, and standing in the middle of nowhere screaming, the hell, Vegeta? But one of the major reasons I've always loved these planet-bursting warriors is the goddamn muscles they got. Now, to me, they have, without a doubt, what I consider the perfect ideal physique, meaning they're big, but not too big, but definitely not small. So I'll elaborate on that so some of you may be like, what the hell is he talking about? Let's take a look at folks like Brock Lesnar, Nappa, the Incredible Hulk. All of them are massive beasts of men with their muscle and size, but a lot of folks would say it's a bit much, unless they're legendary. Then we look at folks like Bruce Lee, and hell, even Saitama, whose muscles are incredibly well developed and complement their immense strength. But if they're just walking around town in baggy clothes that don't highlight their physique, they just look like the typical average Joe. Though I pray for any fool who dares to try to punk these two. I mean, that ass whooping would be Broly-esque. But then we have folks like the Z Fighters, who to me just have the perfect balance for aesthetics. They are incredibly muscular, but not so oversized that you think they gotta go sideways through doors. Again, they are big, but not too big, and definitely not small. I have had endless conversations with my friends over the years over who in real life has what we consider a Goku physique. And so far we found a few. Also, I mentioned this before, but it's funny to see Vegeta's gradual muscle growth over the course of the series. Them gravity chamber gains! But would obtaining that type of physique be possible from the basic training I mentioned above? Get the hell out of here! I told you, leave! Well, let's see. Now, as I said, DBZ has been my favorite anime since childhood, so I've researched this for a decade plus now. Because to me, Goku's physique will be so sick to have, and when it comes to training like them, to get bods like them, the answer is honestly a yes and a no, I found. Mostly depending on your genetics. As I mentioned before, some folks can react really well to bodyweight exercises and get physiques that rival some bodybuilders, and other folks can get great strength and physique results but not look that massive. Like I always say, everybody is different and reacts differently, and it's up to you to find out how your body personally reacts to it by testing these certain circumstances on your body. Just make sure you stay safe. Now, Goku and Veggie typically do tens of thousands of reps for their exercises, with additional weight either from weighted clothing or higher gravity levels. And like I said in the Rock Lee Mike guide with that workout, when training with high reps with an exercise, you can very well put on strength and size, but the problem is as you become stronger and do more repetitions, noticeable gains in muscle mass and strength go down. So while you think you may be doing more reps and doing more sets, that's actually making you stronger, you're actually making the increases in strength and size smaller. Basically, the more reps you can do and the higher you go with it, the smaller the increases in muscle mass and strength. These two blue gods can crank out millions of push-ups with good form with added weight, progressively overloading the muscles. And for those of you who don't know what progressive overload is, it's basically the increase of demand on your musculoskeletal system, and that's just a fancy word for all the bones and muscles we use to support and stabilize our body, and it helps us continue to lift more, get stronger, and work our muscles harder than we are used to. Basically, it allows us to become buff. But more than likely, you can't do those insane amount of reps, and honestly, why would you want to when you can just lift more to do less? Now, we've already established Goku and Vegeta pretty much make themselves weigh more in various ways, but why do that instead of common strength training exercises like bench press, squat, deadlifts, and rows? Is there something about the simplicity of calisthenics that makes them superior to standard weights? To go back a bit, is it possible to get bodybuilder fitness model big from just your body weight without added weight? Again, yes and no, if you know what you're doing. Now, many calisthenic athletes have even admitted that standard weight training is more effective for putting on size because you can always adjust the weight to make it more difficult, isolate the muscle you want to grow, and progressively overload your muscles faster. But here's something that calisthenics has the standard weight training lacks. With weights, you are moving an outside force, but with calisthenics, the extra weight becomes a part of you, and every part of your body needs to work in order to move it. So you strengthen the entire body as a unit with endurance, strength, tension, explosiveness, all is being worked in one motion. Practicing calisthenics will make you move better and more efficient, which will transfer to other things like lifting heavy weights and having more energy in your body since you have better range of motion and less muscular imbalances. For example, every single person, unless you have a disability, is able to do a bench press where you lay down, you press the weight up. Like everyone can do that. Like you don't need no training, but not every single person can do a push-up, like a standard push-up, like by itself. Just like how everyone can do a lat pull down. Like you're able to do a lat pull down, you're just grabbing the weight, pulling it down, but not everyone can do a pull up. Like it's just like a different level of like balance and strength. And that to a greater scale, not everyone can do a freaking shoulder press, like with any weight. Like it just could be a super light weight, but not everyone can do a handstand push-up. Like that just requires so much core strength, balance, and like a great deal of strength to be able to master. Also, it's super convenient to be able to train anywhere instead of like Zoro with his big ass ridiculous weights. Another bonus of calisthenics is the working of your stabilizing muscles. You work them partially when lifting weights, but not to the same degree as with calisthenics. These make you look extra ripped, especially if you have a lower body fat. Just look at Olympic gymnasts who have incredibly defined muscles, but such a low body weight. The defined stabilizing muscles make you look even bigger. The reason for that is because you have to balance yourself, and when doing calisthenics, you make sure everything is moving evenly. Also, it helps you figure out if you have any muscular imbalances, and if you do, you can figure out like, okay, what do I need to do to start fixing them and working them out. So mixing that sort of training with constant sparring and shadow boxing, which is already phenomenal cardio, their physiques are quite possible. Like I said, if you've mastered the 3-leg stool of fitness, you can achieve most any goal. But remember, if you're just going for straight looks, aesthetics, bodybuilder-esque workouts will help with the weights because they'll get you there faster. Matter of fact, the majority of bodybuilders today are huge DBZ fans. Like I said before, one of my good friends once said, if Dragon Ball never inspired you to work out even just a little bit, you're not a true DBZ fan. But that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And Dragon Ball just is my main inspiration for working out. And Goku, or should I specify Superman dubbed Goku, will always be my biggest motivation and inspiration to just stay consistent and be the best I can be.
I'll remember when we were up against Frieza and knew we couldn't win, how you just walked right up to him. And whenever things seem tough for me, I think of you walking forward like that, and it makes me strong.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And for those of you confused by I keep saying Superman dubbed Goku and regular Goku, I made a video right here or here. You can check out wherever the thing goes. Remember, you can always follow me on my social media accounts below, and any support to my Patreon really helps me out a lot. I really gotta do the Patreon video because I have some solid rewards. Some of them are getting taken up, so be sure to check those out. And Voltron Season 2 is finally on Netflix, yo! I'm about to marathon that the rest of the day. So all I'm gonna say to you is, remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, Momentai. Now go have a great day. Go watch Voltron on Netflix. That shit is freaking awesome.